Hi, my name is Stan Brimley. I own a business called Door and Trim Specialists, but we advertise as Doorman Stan. And I want to tell you a little bit about how we got that nickname. I got interested in construction through my grandpa. His name was Roy Handberg. He was a carpenter. He could do anything and he could make anything. He traveled all over the West, building and fixing things. He even went to Mexico to work. When my mother was a little girl, Montana was opened up to homesteading. Since Grandpa Roy could build anything and do anything, it seemed perfectly natural for him to move out in the middle of nowhere and move on to 160 acres and try to improve the land. That was the terms of the homesteading agreement. They give you the property, they give you 5 years to improve it. If you improve it and stay on it, the land becomes yours. He built a home, he built barns and outbuildings, and he even built a chicken coop on that property, which was a work of art. He even built a root cellar. He made his own doors and cabinets from scratch. Everything was meticulous. His tools included a skill saw, hand drills, a table saw, and hand planers. He would buy a stack of wood and sort it and cut it up into anything he needed. When I was a small boy, our family moved from California to Arizona. My dad had a set of plans that were his dream. They were kind of like a Frank Lloyd Wright type of a thing, very modernistic 50s design. My grandpa saw those plans and he thought they were ridiculous. They had a 5-foot overhang. They had a cupola that looked like one of his chicken coops clear along the top of the house to ventilate the attic. But he could build anything, and so he built that house. Grandpa would put almost every nail into that house to build it. He built the walls, he formed the concrete, he built the cabinets out of scratch, he built the doors from scratch, he hung the trim, he built the shelving, he did everything by himself. I remember being a young boy and going out and I loved to watch my grandpa build. Back in those days, everything was done by hand. Everything was hammered in by hand, sawn by hand. He did have a power saw, but his drill was a hand drill. We watched how Grandpa built that house, and we knew that it was built to last. We'd climb all over the cabinets and the shelves, and we never worried about breaking them. When those nails were hammered in by hand, Grandpa never left what he called a pecker track, where the hammer left a mark in the wood. That was something rarely seen in Grandpa's work. Grandpa Roy didn't say much, so when he spoke, we all thought it was pretty important. When he said he would do something, he did it. I admired him so much for his integrity, and I thought he was the greatest carpenter in the world. He pretty much could do everything. He set the forms on the Grand Canyon Dam up in Page. When I was old enough to go to work, it seemed like I gravitated towards construction. I got a degree in economics from ASU, but my first job out of college was to work for a custom home builder as an assistant superintendent. He taught me there a lot about construction, and I've spent a lot of time since then learning more about the construction industry in all its phases. But I always look back on Grandpa Roy and his dedication to perfection and his ability to make a door out of pieces of wood and his integrity in doing what he said he would do. I should call this place Doorman Roy, but it just doesn't rhyme. And Door Boy Roy seems a little disrespectful to my grandpa. So we'll call it Doorman Stan. And I've dedicated this business to respecting good, honest, hard work with a desire to seek perfection. When you hear Doorman Stan, think of Grandpa Roy, because we're going to respect that heritage. We're going to build the best doors we can, and we're going to be meticulous in our work. If we tell you we're going to do something, we're going to do it. If you give us something hard to do, we're going to consider it a challenge, and we're going to see what we can do to make it work.